What's happening, everyone? Gonna do another malt review with Mike, and I'm Narby.
What's up, guys? Long time.
We got a Glenfarclas 30-year-old. This particular Glenfarclas 30-year-old is an older bottling, about 6 to 8 years. I can't exactly remember when we got it, but somewhere between 6 and 8 years ago. So it's not the current one that's on the market. It is bottled at 43%, and we're going to be using the Norland whiskey glass for this review.
The Norland whiskey glass.
And as most of you guys I'm sure know, Glenfarclas is so known for their high quality sherry casks. And the one thing I like about some of the older bottlings, the standard 25s, 30, and even 40-year-old, is they used better casks, in my opinion, some years ago than they are currently doing. So, without further ado, on the nose. Lots of sherry goodness. Lots and lots of sherry goodness. If I had to guess, it's a combination of some first fill maybe, but majority seems like it would be second, perhaps even maybe even third, but my guess is second fill sherry casks aged for 30 years.
Pure, typical sherry bong. Typical after dinner jam.
It is not over, it's only 43%, and it's been breathing for quite a while, many years, yeah. And it hasn't lost its weight. That's pretty amazing, considering that it's only 43%. It is so balanced. It's not doing anything like the family casks. So some of them can be real big, heavy sherry hitters. This one is really, really, really balanced. Citrus fruits, dark red fruits. You get fruits like apricots and peaches in there, and then it kind of goes that toffee, caramel, and chocolate direction as well, but it's not doing any of them in a big, big way. It's all very, very balanced.
It's almost like you were saying before we started, it's almost like there's little bourbon elements in there.
Almost like there's a little bourbon.
Right, because from it is really juicy, fresh orchard fruits, apricot, peach, plum, pear. I wouldn't say it's on the forefront of the first thing I get. I definitely get the sherry first, but it's definitely pronounced. It's definitely in there. Almost like it's a little mix, you know?
Yeah, because if it was all first fill...
But it could be that too, yeah.
Yeah, if it was all first fill, one I would think it would be a little bit darker. I mean, it's dark, but it's not super dark.
For sure.
And it doesn't have those, leather elements, right?
No.
Where, some of the 30 to 40-year-old whiskeys have that, tobacco, dark chocolate, and
cigar
leather.
Box,
yeah, so it doesn't have that. It's all just very, very, very balanced with fruits and dessert elements, like the chocolates and toffees.
Yeah, and there's definitely, like you said, toffee, marzipan, Christmas cakes, definitely like sugar, icing, very dessert elements.
Yeah,
definite heavy sweetness. But like Norb said, they do a really good job at balancing different types of fruits, like fruits that you typically get from sherry and fruits you get from bourbon typically.
Yeah, just a very, very all-around balanced sherry whiskey. If there is bourbon cask in this, it's not much. It is mostly sherry for sure, but it's not dominant like we said.
It's so pleasant. It's so pleasant. And I do get one of the first things I got that screamed out sherry to me in general, without even knowing how they make this, is I get this beautiful, very pleasant, toasty char element. Almost when I say matchsticks, obviously it might sound bad like sulfur, but not that at all. Crystallized sweet, fresh matchsticks, like a beautifully freshly lit campfire, and all that wonderness that goes in it.
Kind of like campfire with some sweetness.
Yeah, exactly. Crystallized. That's the key. Very sweet, pleasant. But yeah, that toasty char from the barrel, I love that.
Palate?
Let's do it. So sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Extremely luscious.
Oh my God, mouthfeel.
Extremely, extremely luscious. Vanilla. More on the fruits, the peaches, apricots, berries, and now that a touch of that wood spice and that oak kind of kicking in. It's not oaky at all, and it's not overly drying at all. It's not even really that dry. It's very, very, very juicy on the palate.
It's luscious.
Yeah, and now that chocolate is coming through. And then now it's just like resting on the tongue. And when I said that leather element wasn't on the nose, it's kind of coming on the palate a little bit. The palate shows its age more than the nose did.
Absolutely.
And this is done really, really, really well. Really. I know there's an even older version of this where like this part right here has purple on it. I've never tried that bottling. So I've never tried a Glenfarclas 30 before this, and this was probably bottled about 8 years ago or so. And I'm very curious to try that because I know that one is even more sherried. So I'd be curious to try that one. But the finish is long; it's lingering, and I'm still getting the fruits, a little bit of that oak, even that little bit of that leather and chocolate. And even almost notes of hints of the coffee coming out too.
Yeah, it's more like a 46% finish. It's very nice. And yeah, definitely beautiful, exquisite mouthfeel, like luscious, so drinkable, so friggin' drinkable.
Yes.
And kind of seconding the nose, both types of fruits, bourbon fruits, sherry fruits, luscious, fresh, juicy fruits. Love that. Beautifully balanced. Beautifully well done. And same thing, very sweet but not too sweet. Icing, sugar, creamy vanilla, different types of fruit pies with that crust, kind of reminding you of a bourbon element, but all done beautifully sweet and fresh.
There's tasting notes actually on the back of the bottle. It says natural color, complex aromas with fruit, and full sherry malty notes. Cognac, brandy, nuts, marzipan, and icing, and burnt chocolate in the back of your mouth. So that's the distillery notes. So not too far off from
not too far off. And yeah, exactly. I guess the more it hits the palate, the more actually like the bourbon fresh fruits come out. But then at the very back, I do kind of get like what it's saying, the burnt chocolate and just like, maybe a hint of coffee, espresso, maybe a little leather, kind of showing the age. But to me, palate, probably the fruits. The juiciness and the quality of the fruits is the most impressive.
Yeah, this is dangerously drinkable.
Dangerously drinkable.
So
if this were a nightly dram, oh my God.
Something that even we don't feel like we fully understand yet, and I know a lot of you ask us questions like this, and that we have quite a bit of experience because we started our whiskey journey early, and we have so many bottles open, have gone through so many bottles. But what I'm bringing up is this bottle has been open for years and years and years, hasn't been gassed. There's only about a third of it left. It's hard to see the fill level, but it's right around here. And it hasn't lost anything. This is still full, flavored. That being said, we have had other bottles around 43% where it flattened out after like 3-4 years. So it can happen. One thing that hasn't happened for us is a cask strength bottling that's been open for many, many years, flattening out. That hasn't happened for us yet. So, and I've spoken to people that know a lot more about whiskey than we do, and they've kind of said the same thing. If it's cask strength, don't worry about it. So my point being is, if you have a special bottle, don't freak out and think you have to finish it within 6 months to a year of opening, which is what some people believe. It is possible it could flatten out. If you're worried about it and you're noticing it is, then you could transfer it into smaller vials. But this bottle's been perfect for us all throughout the years, and truly, truly enjoyable. Score-wise for me, this gets an 89 out of 100. It's an amazing whiskey.
Yeah, I give it the same thing. I give it 89. And I just want to second what Narb said, especially with a cask strength monster whiskey, especially an older cask strength monster whiskey. It's one thing to pour it, let it air out, add water, but I truly believe, based on experience, you got to give it time. You got to let all that air get in the bottle and give it time, and it completely changes and evolves. And usually, in my experience, it gets better and better and better for the really quality old cask strength ones.
Yeah. All right, you guys. Apologize for being gone so long. We're gonna do a little bit better and record more videos for you guys. We'll see you guys soon. Cheers.
Cheers.